Today's video, we're going to Azvex in Liverpool for their latest development hell. This is number 6, a double IPA at 8%. But what's it going to be like? Keep watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today, Development Hell. This is number 6 in the series. We've had 5, we've had 4. They're all good double IPAs, but then Azvex are a good brewery and make good double IPAs. This is in conjunction. I see another little icon there, so it must be in conjunction with someone. But it doesn't actually say on the outside who it's in conjunction with. But I'm sure there's someone out. That's someone else's logo, unless that's the Development Hell thing. But it doesn't actually say on the can anywhere. Now, the reason why I bought this, well, there's a multiple reasons. Azvex make great beers. They make good double IPAs. I've had Development Hell before. They've all been good. But the real reason why I wanted this over the multitude of double IPAs that you can buy these days is that the hops, there's 3 different hops in this, and I haven't heard of any of them. So we've got Alora, Erebus and Mantalita or Manlita. Not heard of any of those. Have you ever heard of them? Let me know in the comments if you have. So I have no idea what this is going to taste like. I don't know where these hops are from. I purposely haven't done any sort of looking at websites to find out about the hops or what they're going to taste like. So let's crack it open, get it in a glass and see what we're going to get with this, because basically, I just hope it's a good double IPA, but I'm interested to see if we get maybe some different types of flavours than what we used to. Just something a bit different. Okay, so beer in a glass. Well, it's the colour we expect. It's very light straw coloured. Quite a bit of carbonation up there. It's hazy, but it doesn't have that look really. So I think because it's the lightness, it doesn't look as translucent as some double IPAs that we can get. We've got a couple of fingers of very loose white head there. Let's give it a little bit of a top up. Looks good, but we've seen 100 double IPAs that look like this. See what the aroma's like though. There's a little bit of dankness coming through straight away. A little bit of weediness. Slight hints of sort of New Zealand type of hop aromas. Yeah, I think this is going to be quite a dank sort of beer. Grapefruit, melon, and there's something else. There's something weedy, there's something different in there. Right, let's see what it tastes like. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, taste-wise, for me, very dank and weedy. It's almost like it's got what like hops are. It's like definitely something like on the New Zealand side, like Rawaka or something like that. There's that sort of hint of a sort of peppery, herbally, sort of spicy sort of flavour in there. Then there's something that's not dissimilar to, say, Strata, with that sort of very sort of dank, weedy, pot-like flavour. But it's much more on the citrus than it is on the tropical side. So there's like grapefruits and limes and lemons, but there's melon in there as well. I should really have... If I'm using my phone and I don't have any internet near me apart from my phone, because I should have really sort of... So this beer, flavour wise, right, okay, so I've done a little bit of research on the hops. I sort of paused the video and stopped it and edited it in, and hopefully it all looks seamless, but probably isn't, to find out what these hops are so we can unpack the flavours. Now, I talked about the flavours. Thought there was this dank sort of pot like God, I've even forgot the name of it. Let me drink it again. Strata, like Strata hop. And when I've gone through these hops, so let's go through them. Alora and Erebus, they're both American hops, new Pretty brand new in terms of they were experimental, but I didn't recognise the numbers, so I definitely haven't had them before. The Allura says it's peach and apricot, melon and yuzu fruit. I don't really know what yuzu fruit tastes like. There is a little bit of that apricot and peach, a little bit. Yeah, I didn't think it was much more. It's not sort of stone fruits as heavy as something like Galaxy or some hops like that. But actually, yeah, melon, peach, apricot, there is, you can see there's elements of there, but I don't think that's as big. Erebus, that said, I've written it down, it said blueberry, citrus and candied fruit and floral. So when I read that, it makes me think it was a bit like mosaic. Again, I'm not really picking up the red. There's a bit of floralness, but I'm not picking up the red berry at all. But the last hop, Manlita. Now, this is the one that I think this is more about. So Manlita's a New Zealand hop. Never heard of it before. I'm surprised because so many New Zealand hops I haven't heard before. Again, citrus. I mean, a lot of them say citrus. But it says one of the descriptions was ganja flavoured, which, you know, ganja, pot, whatever you want to call it. So there's that sort of strata characteristics. And it says red grapefruit, gummy bears, sort of gummy candy. I'm not picking that up. Red berries. So there's a lot of that sort of mosaic in there as well. So these are, I suppose, ultimately all these hops, they all sort of start blending into each other. So there's a lot of hops here that have got, especially the American ones, have got more mosaic sort of quality to them. And then obviously even the New Zealand ones got like a bit like the, you know, I said the Rackau, not Rackau, yeah, Rackau, no, I didn't say Rackau. God, Ruwaka, that's it, Ruwaka. I'm confusing myself now. The Ruwaka, which is that sort of peppery, sort of herbal, sort of something a bit. It's one of those sort of hops that I'm like, I'm starting to really turn off a little bit. But if it's got other hops with it, it can just give a little bit of something different. But if it's too dominant, it can be a little bit like, it can be a bit marmitey in terms of the hops. So we're getting all these free hops. We've tasted this beer. This is a dank beer. So if you like dank, weedy sort of beers with a fair bit of challenge, then this is it. It's fairly light in body. Carbonation is low, but it's much lighter than I think. And the carbonation, I wouldn't say isn't as soft as some can be. And because it's thin, I think it lets itself, it doesn't hide away from that. And as I say, the more the flavours are, you've got the citrus, the grapefruits, you've got stuff like melon and that sort of stuff on the side as well. I'm not getting the berry stuff, but I'm definitely getting the ganja side of it. Definitely got that. So if you like strata hop, then I think this Manlita hop, if you see it again, that is the hop for you, really. It's very similar to strata. Allura and Erebus, American hops, bring a bit of, pretty much a lot of everything. I think Allura is going to be closer to sort of peach, apricot, melon. I don't know, what would that be close to? I still think Galaxy, but yeah, it's not really like any of the other American hops. So it's that sort of stuff. And an Erebus, which I think a bit more closer to sort of mosaic as a hop. So if you thought that this was strata, mosaic and Ruwaka, again, you're probably just naming three of my least favourite hops. So it's probably going to affect my overall rating of this beer. Ultimately, if you like dankness, sweaty, weedy sort of flavours, you'll like it. But I'm not a big fan of those. It's drinkable. The 8% is well hidden. The body's probably a bit light for me for another double IPA. And there's just, the flavours are all dank. There's nothing bright in any of the flavours. And the citrus is in there, but it's very much on the grapefruity side of citrus. And I think you need something to elevate it. It needs a little bit more. For me, I like these double IPAs that we've had recently, which have got a bit more sweetness to it. There's no sweetness in this. It's peppery, it's dank, it's spicy, it's white pepper sort of flavours. And then there's a grapefruity sort of citrusy sort of note underneath. That's the best way I can describe it. I want to give you guys the description as much as I can. So if you like dank beers, and I know there's loads of people out there that love beers, the danker the better, you know, then this is a good beer. These hops are quite interesting. I'll be interested to see how these hops appear with other things. It needs something a little bit sweeter, a little bit more brighter, I think. So any of these hops combined with Citra itself, or combined with things like El Dorado, that sort of stuff, a little bit more on the sweeter side, I think it'd be pretty good. But yeah, it's closer to your sort of a lot of your New Zealand non-Mutueka, which I think, again, Mutueka is a very bright lime. It can get a little dank, but not overly dank. I feel like I'm spending most of my time talking on this video about hops and the stuff, but I think that's the thing that really interests me. I don't see a lot of other beer YouTubers really diving deep into hops and what they are. And I think that's the thing you've got to look at. You pick up a beer and you think, yeah, it's from a brewery I like. Do you look at the hops, or do you just go, it's an 8% double IPA? I like double IPAs, and I've had great ones from Azvex, I'll buy it. And you don't even look at the hops. But if you looked at these, you'd be going, I have no idea what they are. But do the hops make a big difference to your decision making when it comes to buying beers? For me, I'm very much so. I would always look at the hops. If I see a beer without hops, unless it's a brewery that I know I've got a good track record, I will not buy it, you know, off the shelf, unless it's maybe a supermarket beer and I want to bring that to the audience. But generally speaking, I won't buy it unless I really know that the brewery is going to make good beer. And sometimes, you know, recently I've looked at some beers and it's like it's got Citra Mosaic in it, and I think it's a bit boring, isn't it? I'll pass that. There's plenty of other beers to try and find different stuff. So I think the hops for me generally are quite important. A lot of my friends that drink craft beer that aren't YouTubers, if you tell them about hops and what one tastes right, they might say, yeah, I quite like, so I've had stuff with Citra in it because it's in a lot of beers and they like it. So they'll think, if it sees Citra, they'll think, yeah, it's fine. Whatever else is in it, but if it's got Citra, it'll be fine. But there are, for me, there's very hops that I'm not a big fan of. And especially if they're on their own with that. I am getting to the point now when New Zealand hops aren't quite doing it for me. I want something else, but I think it's just because there's so many beers with so many New Zealand hops in it that they all start to sound and taste very similar to each other. And I'm in the business of craft beer. I'm not in the business. I wish I was. I'm in the sort of business of reviewing craft beer, I should say. And hops and what hops are in beers are important to me. And I like to drink lots of different beers. So if I start drinking different beers from different breweries, but they've all got the same sort of hops and they all become a little bit samey as well. So I want to try new stuff. And that's what appealed to me, this beer, because I thought, I don't know what these hops are. I don't know what they're about. They could bring all kinds of flavors. I could be drinking something that tastes like banana and chocolate and, I don't know, banana and chocolate. What else is a flavor that you don't get much in beer? And peanuts or something, you know, something weird like that. But ultimately, this blend of hops is not giving me much different. It's giving me very similar flavors to other hops that are out there. And I think maybe that's the case now, is that more and more are these new hops that are coming in are just slight variations of hops we've known before. Sometimes that can work. NZ 1109 for me is a really good hop. Still not seen enough. It's very similar to Sabro, but it takes all the rough edges of Sabro and sort of takes them away and brings the better parts of it, brings them to the forefront without over dominating those flavors. And for me, that is a great hop along the lines of Sabro, but a better version of it. And there are other hops out there as well. I think Crush is a good hop as well. Crush is similar to sort of a blend of, say, Galaxy and Mosaic, but taking all the stuff away from it, all the sort of the harshness of those flavors, the over dominant of blueberry, the over dominant of that dankness that you get with Galaxy, and it brings a brighter flavor. So that works. What other hops are there that are out there that are new? Well, I love anchovy. It's just got a great flavor to it, but it's not really like any other hops, which is another good thing. So what I want to see is an anchovy, crush, and HBC, or yeah, it is HBC 1109, all in one beer. Go on, brewers, make it. There's your challenge for you. But this beer is good. Let's get some scores. Okay, the scores are in for Development Hell 6. This is from Azvex and someone else. We're not sure who that is, unless that's the hops. Maybe they're like some no, because like it was two of them were from one farm, and the other one was, I think it was a freestyle hops. So completely different there. It does not say who that is. It should say, because there's definitely someone else involved. This has got to mean something else. Unless that's just the Development Hell symbol. But I digress. Let's get through the scores. Starting with aroma. Appearance. Flavour. Value for money. I'm not sure how much this was. I think it's around about £6.50, which I think is probably around about the average price of a double IPA. And finally, my overall experience. So we type the scores up. It's only 76. So it's a recommended, right in the middle of the recommended. It's still a good beer. And as I said, if you like dankness in your beer, if you like weediness, if you like hops like Strata and Mosaic, then I think you'll really like this. The 8% is definitely well hidden, but it's a little thin and it's a little bit too, on that dank side, too challenging for me. It's still a nice beer, but you know, we've had so many great double IPAs that it doesn't quite hit the mark of some of those great ones that we've had recently, like the couple of track ones, that Gold Top one especially. What was the other one I had quite recently that was really good double IPA? I mean, there was the Cloudwater, but that was probably a little while ago. There's definitely good, great double IPAs out there. For me, it probably just doesn't hit the sweet spots, and I say sweet spot quite literally. It's not sweet. It's definitely not sweet, this beer, and I like a little sweetness in my beers. I'm quite different than everyone else, so if you don't like sweetness and you like dankness, which I think probably the opposite ends, then I think you'll like this beer. But I've gone on too long on this video, so let's end it there. Please like it, please subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Lots more beers. There's beers in my fridge that I'm really looking forward to, and there's new stuff out. I'm recording this now. It's the 3rd week of January. This probably might not even go out till February. So by that time, hopefully I've managed to get my hands on the latest putty. And there's lots of, you know, it seems like this time of year is when everyone breweries started off for some reason, because there's lots of birthday beers. State of Mind is one that's come out. Polly's is one that's coming out where I'm now in the next couple of days. I don't know if I'll get them, but please subscribe and you'll see if I review them or not. Until the next one, drink good craft beer. And of course, more importantly, you've got to keep on rocking.